Practice and politics. Practice is defined as the way film is produced and completed. In British social realism, this generally means independent production. Politics influence their practice by trying to step away or distinct from the mainstream and look to demonstrate specific sets of ideas about the social world. In terms of film text, practice and politics refer to aspects outside the text which influence the form, structure, content, and style. The filmmakers who are showing life as it is are reacting to the way the world is constructed by the majority of mainstream films such as studio and star systems. Social realist texts often comment on, correct, or break away from previous conventions and practices regarded as realist. Samantha Lay tells us that British social realism movements are informed by a reforming or revolutionary political spirit, from the documentary movement through free cinema to the mid-1990s. John Grierson's mission was to educate and inform audience through documentary, which allowed him to achieve an uncomfortable support from the government. The lack of funds and resources affected the British documentary production styles by creating a collaborative unit style of production associated with the documentary movement in the 1930s and 40s. British New Wave directors claimed surrealism was based on social realist fiction that was only implied in documentary realist texts. They established that character and place were interconnected and environmental factors determined a character's fates and fortune. Ken Loach has been shaped and informed by practice and politics. Loach's practice eliminates the use of stars and employs location shooting in naturalistic settings. This is attached to his political beliefs and intent as a filmmaker. Issues and themes. Content in terms of themes and issues is usually linked to a filmmaker's intent. The intent and filmmaker's choice of issues is often reformist, educative, or socially purposeful in some way. Looking at the way an issue is dealt with in different time periods is important as it will enlighten us as to why themes might have been central in 1950s texts but pushed to the background later in films. Lay differentiates issues and themes by using a strong representational features encoded in the text and techniques to show deeper meaning level. For example, issues relate to different social problems portrayed in these films which were topical for around the time of a given film production, which provided some cause for national social concern. Themes, however, are not as explicit in the action but rather implied. Themes work on a much deeper meaning level and represent less obvious threats to social cohesion and stability.